Hi everybody. This week I want to address the elephant in the room. I've tried very hard during these vlogs not to talk about coronavirus. That's because I'm here to teach you English and I'm trying to keep you entertained. But we do need to talk about coronavirus and the effect that it's having on everybody all across the world. So in this week's vlog, I want to talk to you about community spirit. I want to just go back in time a little bit and talk about my childhood. I grew up in this very village where I'm still living today. Although I've travelled the world and lived in other different countries, I'm now back here. They say that home is where the heart is, and that is very true, and I'm lucky to be at home during this difficult time. But when I was a child growing up, I knew the name of every single person that lived in my village. And that was just normal. But there's a generational difference. And now, my generation, we don't really know the people that live around us. When new families move in, they keep themselves to themselves, which is fine. And there's a lack of community spirit. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying that it has decreased rapidly over the last generation. So in this vlog, I want to show you exactly what myself and my family are doing to try and increase community spirit. And try and show you that when people work together, they can achieve great things. And that is what we're all going to need to do during this terrible virus. So stay tuned to the end. I think you're going to be very surprised what we came up with. So this week we were just talking, weren't we, about what's going on, and Jensen is pretty switched on. I think for a 5-year-old, is aware of what's going on in the world, not worried about it. We all know what we need to do to stay safe. And we thought it'd be nice to do something nice for our community. There's already a few things going on in our community. You're sniffing your little nose for like a little piggy. You need to blow your nose. Let's go blow your nose. Go get some tissue. Feeling better? So we were just talking about what we could do, and we had some ideas, didn't we? Do you want to tell everybody what we're going to do this week as part of our little community project?
We're going to make a man that has a sign in its hand so people weren't worried when they are going to work.
I think it's a cracking idea. Where should we put it? Where are we going to put this man?
Just where we go for a walk and a bike ride.
At the end of the road maybe, where there's lots of cars driving past, where people will see it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit of a difficult project. We've got a lot of other things to do, but we'll try and get as much done as we can today, and if not, we'll finish it during the week. How does that sound to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be good. Alright, so I've just got everything set up that we need. Here it is. Obviously, you can see I've got the clothes that I need. There's a stake of wood going up through the middle, and a stake of wood here. And the job now is to use this straw from this bale of straw that I usually use on my compost heap, stuff it into these tights, my wife's old tights, and then put it inside here and here, and then with a screwdriver and some screws, screw it all together. That's the plan. And then when it comes to the face and the head, I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do. Likewise with the sign, I've got a pole here. And this will be good for holding the sign up, but I'm not sure yet what piece of wood I'm going to use. I might have to ask around the community, see if someone can give me a piece of thin wood that I can put on here to make a sign. But there we go, it's in progress, but unfortunately it's just started spitting with rain, which isn't great timing, so I might have to postpone this for a little while until the weather passes over. Great, good old English weather. I mean, sometimes things just don't go to plan. The British weather is always unpredictable and quite often rainy, so I had to improvise. So I've come inside here now and I've got this big white dust sheet to stop the kids making a massive mess everywhere. So we're going to work now at stuffing those tights full of this straw to try and bring our scarecrow, I'm not quite sure what to call it, our figure, our mannequin maybe, to try to bring it to life. Just waiting for the kids to come back from a little walk with Grandad, and then we're going to crack on. Halfway there with one of the legs. Should be about the right length. Now to fill this one up. Boom, so there we go, legs. Now I'm going to put them inside these jeans. Whoa. It's just like getting my kids dressed in the morning. Sorry for the wind noise, it's very windy today. As you can see here now, I've got the body made. I've got a torso stuffed that the boys helped me with. The legs are in place, the arms are in place, and I very kindly enlisted the help of my dad, who's just painted a board which we're going to use as a sign and put on top of this. I believe it's an old broomstick handle. I'm not quite sure, but there we go, things are great. So we're going to stop now for some lunch. Right, well I reckon that's about as much as I'm going to get done outside today, because it is going to start chucking it down in a minute. I can see there are black clouds on the horizon. I reckon it looks alright. Not bad for a first attempt. So all we've got to do now is the head with the pillowcase and the sign, which I've got ready to go to paint on. Maybe if I've got time and I can be bothered, I'll do that after tea tonight. Otherwise it's going to be a job for potentially tomorrow. If it's rainy, I can do this instead of working in the allotment, or a job for next week. That's it, perfect. All right, perfect. Alright, so it's Sunday morning. I had a bit of a skinful last night and I'm not feeling too clever this morning, if I'm totally honest. But there's work to be done, so we are carrying on making our sign, and we've already made some good progress, haven't we, boys?
Yeah.
Let's show you what we've done so far. So just doing an outline here with a...
Numbers.
What's this called?
A black pen. Black pen.
Yeah, just basically doing a little outline here so that we can then see what we're doing when we're painting it, because it's going to be very difficult to paint freehand.
I think all them bloody amateurs doing that. Is that recording that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Slow and steady, wins the race. So there we go, it's all ready, it's all done. I'm sorry if you can't hear me very clearly, it's very windy today, I can't stress that enough. But here we go, I'll give you a view, and I hope people will be happy and made happy and feel a little bit better about the current situation. This was my kids' idea and I'm really proud of them, how they've just had this imagination at such a young age. Jensen is only 5, and it was from his idea of doing something nice for the community that this idea was born. Unfortunately, it has become something more of my project rather than the kids, just because it was an outside job and the weather just isn't appropriate to have them outside. But they're really happy with the results, and I'm going to bring them down in the car and show them after we've had some lunch, and I'm sure they'll be happy to see what it looks like now it's all finished. So I've just taken a telephone call from Rafters to inform me that our food delivery is going to be here in the next hour or so. I'll just give you a little background into what I'm talking about. Rafters are a greengrocers in the nearest town to where I live. And they've changed their business model completely to make sure that people who live out of the big towns do not get cut off and still get the supplies that they need during this really difficult time. So all they asked for us to do was to place an order on behalf of the entire community and have them deliver it to one address in each village, so it can then be distributed to the people that need it. So that's what's happening today. The delivery is on its way. It will be here shortly. It's going to be delivered to my house here. I'm going to separate up all the items and then deliver them to the people that can't leave their home. And some people are going to come here to collect it from my driveway. So good old rafters in Driffield. Thank you. We've just taken delivery of all of this. So now I need to split it up and get it all into the right packages so that I can deliver it to everybody that's ordered. Whew. Got my gloves on. So it's the end of another long day. Every day in quarantine seems longer than usual. And it's 8 o'clock. I'll just show you down my street here. Everybody is clapping for the NHS and all the key workers. That was really cool to see. We're only a small village, maybe about 200 to 300 people. And I could see at least a dozen people, maybe even more, out showing their appreciation for all of the key workers. And it's a great example of community spirit. If you'd asked me, or if you had told me just a few months ago that this would be happening, I wouldn't have believed you. But community spirit is coming back, and finally, people who live next to each other, who've never even spoken to each other, even here in a rural area, are getting to know each other. And that can only be a good thing. As you can see, darkness has fallen. I'm just stood outside here, outside my shed, some light shining through the window, but I should probably wrap it up. But it's great to see some community spirit, and thank you to all who are working hard during this incredibly difficult time.